All right. And then our fourth cheese of the box this month is the Louis d'Or from Fromagerie de Presbotter. Another Canadian cheese, as one can imagine, based off of the name and my struggling to pronounce it. So this cheese is called basically Golden Louis, right? And I'm here for it. That golden reference is, of course, the quality of the cheese is golden and all of the golden awards that they have won. But also specifically, it's in reference to the color of the cheese itself. This is an Alpine style cheese, right? So made in the same style as cheeses like in Switzerland and like the French Alps and all that. So your Comtés and Gruyères and what have you. What that really just means is the curd was sort of like rinsed off and pressed together, and a little bit of like wash rind happening on the outside just to kind of create a little bit more sort of like salt on the inside and flavor intensity. But it also means that it's made with fresh green grass. Why is that important? And what does that have to do with gold, Casie? I'm so glad you asked. Well, that is because cows cannot process beta carotene. So, think about like carrots are orange, and that beta carotene in the carrots is what makes them orange. There's a lot of beta carotene in grass. So the cows go out into the pasture, they eat that green grass. That beta carotene binds to the milk fat and concentrates in the cheese. So you always, if it's fresh, grass-fed milk, then you're always going to get this buttercup yellow color in the cheese itself. However, goats, fun fact, can process beta carotene and they convert it into vitamin A, which is a naturally colorless vitamin. So, pure goat's milk cheese is always going to be snowy, snowy white. Grass-fed cow's milk cheese is always going to have this buttercup yellow color to it. That also means that there's going to be a lot of flavor in here because of all those beautiful fresh green grasses, a little bit more pliability, a little bit firmer cheese. So this is one you could totally cook with. Again, think about your Gruyères and Comtés. Those are definitely made for French onion soup and whatnot. So you can shred this up, melts really well. However, of the cheeses that we've discussed today, this is going to be the one that's going to have a little bit more of that flavor concentration from the grass itself. And so really, I wouldn't want to dilute it with anything, right? However, I would want to have a crunchy little friend with it, like these mulberries. These are dried, teeny tiny little baby mulberries. Well, they were full grown at the beginning, and now they're small. And what's great about these is, they're super crunchy, a little bit chewy at the same time, but not in a way that like gets like weirdly stuck in your teeth and you got to call your dentist afterwards. So again, we're talking about a textural juxtaposition, sweet versus salty, a little bit of like sour here, and super nutrient dense, right? You've got all your vitamins from your fruit. You've got all your beta carotene and your protein from your cheese, and that's kind of why our little lizard brains really love the idea of fruit and cheese together, is because it kind of, when you put these two together, it's almost all the nutrients that we need to survive. So happy eating.